I had no clue at all this was even going to happen. I went into a meeting on Tuesday morning this week thinking we were reviewing the season, because that's what they told me, and I go in and I find three highest ranked ADs there, which never happens, and then they say, oh, we got bad news, we're dropping swimming.
As many of you already know, last week Arizona State cut their men's swimming team. They had no notification from the athletic department beforehand. The coaches didn't know, the swimmers didn't know, and nobody gave them an opportunity to raise the necessary funds to even prevent this from happening. It's a complete shock to everybody. So we drove here to Tempe, Arizona to figure out what's going on, to talk to people about the next step that's happening, what's going on with the recruiting class, what's going on with the current swimmers, and what's in store for the future.
The athletes actually were getting an email while I was sitting in this meeting telling them that the sport was being dropped at the same time they were telling me. So,
is that normal protocol for an athletic department to go about something like this?
I wouldn't think it is. I think in every other case I know of, people knew about it before and maybe had a chance to say, okay, give us a year, give us two, give us time to work this out. Maybe coaches were involved in the decision making. This time 6 people max maybe knew about this in the athletic department.
I guess they got an email, and that was the first time anybody noticed or got information on the situation. We got an email in the morning. It spread pretty quickly. Everybody was called. The whole swimming community found out within a couple hours. So it was a pretty tough time at that moment.
We've set up a website. It's going to be saveasuswimming.com. It's going to be up next week. It'll have more information on it, a way people can put donations up there. So we're working on a foundation we're going to set up. We've got the paperwork for a 501c3 nonprofit. Yes, we want to try to start working on raising an endowment of $5 million, which they're going to put in writing here that will guarantee that the program will be here forever if we do that.
Basically, the interest on the $5 million will pay for the budget for forever. To try to create $5 million in a short period of time is not very easy to do.
Have you heard anything from the recruits, their intentions?
This is the best recruiting class I believe ASU's ever had, and I would certainly believe, I can't believe it's not one of the top 5 recruiting classes, if not higher in the country this year. Our recruits, they want to come here still. Now, I've told them all to protect themselves and make sure they're doing what's best for them, but we still have some guys that may come anyway and then transfer after a year of being here.
And what about the current swimmers? What is their stand?
So far, most of our current swimmers, obviously they're devastated by this. It's just a total shock, and it's still sinking in even 4 days later. Right now, most of them want to stay, see what happens, and train. No swimmer has told me they're leaving at this point in time.
It's pretty tough because a lot of them, they want to stay. So to move on is tough to do.
Over the next few months, what do you think the biggest difficulty trying to save this program is going to be?
To sustain the awareness. That's the big thing.
You got to sustain the momentum of the last few days of people being aware of this. I mean, I've had hundreds of phone calls, texts, emails, responding to those, letting people know we're trying to do something, we're not just giving up. Even our women's team is dramatically affected. These are people they train with every day. We're a combined program. They're concerned, they're stressed about it. Keeping this whole issue in the forefront of the news is really critical, because it's easy to forget, when things get dropped or disappear.
What do you think the state of college swimming is in the men's department? Where do you think the future is going with the sport?
Well, I think we've been told all along, no matter how safe you think you are in men's swimming, it can be dropped. I mean, because certainly we're maybe a higher profile swimming program that's been dropped since UCLA was dropped, their men's team, that was in 1994, I believe. There's been other men's programs lost, a number of them. Maybe they weren't as high profile. So I think if it can happen to us, it can happen to anyone, and we're told that again and again, and you just don't want to believe it, but it's true.
No men's college swimming program creates money, which means most college programs are in jeopardy of losing their swimming. It could happen to anybody. Right now, the way this happened, the way it got brought up all of a sudden, it could happen to any program, anytime. And it's a scary thought to think that men's swimming right now is in true jeopardy. And this is, not the start. It's Rutgers, Syracuse, those are programs going, that are struggling. And right now it's Arizona State, and this is one of the higher profile swim teams to get cut, but I think it's a start for many.